nothing much of what I'm going to say is original to me, and so it's a case study. I copy and steal everything, so that's proved helpful, as most of us do, as we just journey along and learn from our churches or our schools or our friends or mentors. So a lot of what I'm going to take I've borrowed from, in particular, one ministry that really reached out and grabbed a hold of me really just a couple of years ago. And this first part of the sheet that you have in front of you was what was really eye-opening to me, called this journey of transition. And broke down really kind of phases of parenting, from being a caretaker from age 0 to 5 of your child, to then becoming a cop from age 5 to 12, and then a coach from 12 to 18, and then a counselor from 18 on. And that those stages are actually, they're guidelines, and kind of what you're trying to do in each stage is kind of reflected underneath the title there. But for me to realize, if the end goal is to be a counselor to my child and have this relationship where even in adulthood we've got this sort of symbiotic relationship where we're really counselors to each other, and they're going to come to me, to get there, I can't go from cop to counselor. And I needed to transition out of the cop role into the coach role really quickly, and I only had about a year to do it because she was entering her high school year. So I was riding her pretty hard about things she wasn't doing right, or things that and there was nothing major going on, but either was sleeping late, or always getting her up and everybody else is missing and she's always late, or she's not doing this, and not being as administrative as I needed her to be, or whatever it is. And I realized that when she's gone at 18, she's not going to be picking up the phone and calling me to say, can you tell me about this, or what do you think I should do here? And so, because nobody responds to if I've been a cop then, why am I going to be any different at 21 when she's calling me? So making this transition from being the cop to being the coach, and being the encourager, and being the, I'm loving you, where you are, and we're going to go on this journey together, and I'm standing side by side with you, not in front of you telling you what to do. So the analogy a little bit that they use out at J.H. Ranch is just sort of thinking about the seashore, and when your kid is small, you're kind of in the water with them, and you've got these buoys that are surrounding you, kind of protecting you, and then you're letting them out a little bit more. Maybe they're in the rowboat and you're in there with them, and they're paddling some, or they're directing, and then eventually you want them in their own boat and on their way. My kids, I have tried to quickly apologize to them, ask for their forgiveness, and not wait and not follow that quickly. Well, I'm sorry that I yelled, but if you hadn't done, forget the but part, okay? Just apologize and put a period at the end of that, and move on, because you've always got your reason, right? But your kid's got the same thing, same reason going on behind it too, and you just need to let that sit there and not come back with, the reason that you lost your temper, or you slammed your hand on the table, or whatever it is that you did wrong. Being present, not just physically, but mentally. When I went to the school and was there for 8 years, it was an all-consuming deal. So when I was home, I really wasn't home mentally. The summers were even hard, and that took a toll on just me being attuned to where my children were spiritually. So I kind of like to look at the work day as 3/4 of the day and not the complete day. So it's not time to come home, take your shoes off, put your feet up, have a beer, and open the newspaper. Mm-hmm. That begins the 4th quarter of the day, and the 4th quarter is kind of where the game's won or lost. So that picture of just being able to mentally recharge and gear up for the fourth quarter of the day has helped me.